There are five survival myths I think that will be the destruction of so many people should the proverbial S hit the rotating oscillator. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts and your comments down below about these myths and other ones that could very well end up getting us in just as much trouble. Everybody loves to talk about bug out bags, Faraday bags, all of the hoopla stuff, but I think that's ultimately all that most of that is a bunch of shit. There's a little bit of there's a nugget of truth in a lot of these myths, but when we rely and put our full focus on them, then that truth becomes lost, and the impact is what you and I take on the back end of it. So this first one is those bug out bags. Everybody loves to think I can strap on a bag and I can go. Maybe it's not even just the backpack, right? I think most people are beyond thinking that the backpack is what's going to be the key to survival. And they begin to thinking that bugging in is going to be the key, or that caches, or if you're low speed and high drag enough, you would say cache, or having a retreat, a location that you can move to, or you have a vehicle. Right, after all, every time I put on my seatbelt, I strap on the most amazing backpack ever made. Right? If I look and I think about folks who've come before us and what it actually took for survival, going even in this country to the, I was going to say last century. We're not in the 1900s anymore. Let's go back to the 1800s, wagon trains, and how much supplies and gear was needed to make a trek, to make a journey. Look into modern shows like Alone, and look at how many people fail to be able to make it through a very short period of time. You can say, well, they only have so many items. Yes, that's true. But if you think that you're going to survive with what you have in a backpack, with what you have in your house, what you have in your vehicle, you're probably going to be mistaken as far as what that quality of survival is going to be. You need to be masters at all of these things, right? You need to be well proficient at doing things small on the micro level. You need to be good at bigger things as well. And you need to know and understand, be more of a student of humanity and of history, to learn where these things weave into each other and where they weave out from. Otherwise, you could end up with nothing but a broken back and the military determining that it was not service connected. Next up, Faraday bags. Faraday bags is something that I love to hate. I think that it's a shield product off of a next to impossible scenario to even need it in the first place. And I would dare say, let's think about this a little bit more. Let's talk about man-made EMPs, right? Everybody wants to be concerned about the commies and the Russians and all those other hoo-yah people. But do they have the ability? Maybe. Is a nuclear blast the only way? Probably not. But either way about it, why doesn't the most... And this would actually be a good question for somebody who's somebody who's in office right now, who thinks that they do nothing but, exercise authoritarian power, right? Why has not the United States developed, implemented, and by default used an EMP to crush our enemies? Even just regards from EMPs, like we have microwave weapons, right, that will heat and burn up your skin, and ultrasonic stuff that will ruin your ears. Really good for crowd control. Certainly, there are other weapons systems and platforms that have been designed to do something very similar, creating an EMP blast. We know that they're out there. The question is, why aren't they used? Why aren't they as effective if they are used as one would think that they would be? And what does that tell us about the threat of EMPs that YouTubers love to shill? I'm looking forward to seeing your thoughts and your comments down below on that one. There is a myth that the big government doesn't care about the small guy, right? If you just stay out of the limelight, they're not going to be worried about you. And there's some truth to this, right? But the government at the city, state, the county, and the national or federal level, I think we're done away with. It's nothing but federalized, man, right? Nationalized, and all these other words that have been hijacked. They care about what you're doing, and they want to be in your business. They care about the water that you've been harvesting. They care about wearing body armor and other basic survival tactics. They care about it. So don't be a fool and think that just because you're not on YouTube or just because you're not in a militia that they don't know who you are. They know who you are. Odds are. But that doesn't mean you need to advertise and flap your gums about it, right? Kind of going back to myth number 1. Myth number 4 is that food buckets or large root cellar type storages is going to be your key. That could be a huge key, and I would dare say that you should have, some would argue, a year of food, chow. Some would say a month, some would say 6 months, whatever it is, you do you. I think that you need something beyond just living out of your pantry and shopping from week to week. But if you think that just having gear and supplies is what's going to make you last, I think that's another myth that could end up getting folks hemmed up sideways, because there are other variables that exist, not least of which are your friends, your family, and your neighbors that can put a big squish on the idea that just because you have something means that you're going to be okay. A lot more to consider than just having a closet, a room, a garage, or a cellar that's full of food. Because at the end of the day, if that's all you have, if that's all you know how to do, then you may as well be eating nothing but MRE bags, and who the hell wants to do that? Last but certainly not least is that you will rise to the occasion when adversity rises to meet you. And I think that, as far as I can tell, the truth of the matter is that you will resort back to the training that you already have put yourself through. If you don't know how to do X task, maybe you have some mental knowledge, but you've never physically done it. You are not a go at this station. You are not a T. You're not even a P. You are a U. If all you've done is some little self-study and you think that when a challenging time will rise, that you will be able to just go out and do it. If you think that you can just read a book and go do it, then go find all of those millions of homeowners who have bought all the books on basic plumbing, electrical, and who don't do it, because when you get ready to go and work a three-way switch and you get shocked, and that kind of puts a little shock into you, right? Because you weren't expecting that hot to still be hot, because you don't know any better. You just don't know any better. You've never done better. So whatever you think that challenging time is specifically, and I think that you should think about that. What are the most likely friction points that you are going to encounter the rest of this year, going into fall and winter, and then leaning into spring. Whether it's out in society, at your job, at your house, maintaining and sustaining all of the stuff for life. What are the actual friction points that you're going to have? And what's your answer to it? If your answer to it is, well, I'm just going to call the guy, then that probably shows you a point that needs some attention by you, from you, and for you. Real strength is not going to come from the stuff that you have. It's going to come from the resilience that you have to work through proficiently because you've already mastered that craft. So when you get punched in the face, which is what will happen, you'll be able to stand there, take it, and give a little back. Team, I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts and your comments down below as we all continue to master our craft and develop our tactical virtue. If you've made it this far and you want to know what some of those skills may be and what some of those scenarios may be and how to actually flesh out through them, consider checking out the SHTF Field Manual. You can get a signed copy over on my webpage, stokermatic.com, or if you want an unsigned copy, you can get that from Amazon. I appreciate you guys. Till then, stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked. Team, if you want to master your craft and develop your tactical virtue, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so that you can stay up to date with future content. Consider becoming a channel member. It's going to give you exclusive access to content not available to anybody else. I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.
We know you're out there! Come to my voice!